everyone. Welcome to Word Funk. I am Leon Thomas. I am joined by Austin Yorsky, Johnny Maloney. Before Austin got here and before we started recording, Johnny and I were having non-spoilery talk about Twin Peaks. And as he has told me, he will say more of Twin Peaks, but also will not spoil things for you. So isn't that nice for everyone who is not quite up to date, like myself? Johnny, what did you think about the new Twin Peaks in the least descriptive way possible?
Okay, so first of all, I should preface this by saying that I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I watched those a couple times, and it's really good. It's really good. One of the things that I was a little worried about is when so much time has passed between something hitting an audience and then coming back, it's almost impossible for that same energy, that same kind of magic, that je ne sais quoi that exists in a piece of art or entertainment, for it to be the same, because people change, and the mainstream, not even the mainstream, but the audience's observance of that particular thing also, change the thing, For a TV show like Twin Peaks to be doing what it was doing back in the 1990s to some acclaim, having that relationship of being current and being watched and people being hooked on the question who killed Laura Palmer and things like that is a lot different than the relationship that people have with it now, 26 years after its appearance and disappearance. So you can't just kind of jump right back in again. Because not only has the audience's relationship to Twin Peaks changed, but the audience's relationship to television has changed. And influenced in a large part by Twin Peaks' first appearance, actually. As a television back in the 1990s, if you guys remember, not Austin, was trash. It was it was bad. 90s television was about as episodic and unfulfilling of the medium as you could possibly get. The best I can say of the 1990s television was at least there was a lot of Star Trek on, right? And apart from that, I kind of struggle to be oh, okay, memorable TV shows of the 1990s. You got your Buffy. And I'm done. Most TV was episodic and just blah of the week. Okay, I guess X-Files too. I should be fair, but both Buffy and X-Files actually owe quite a bit to Twin Peaks being on the air. It was one of the first primetime dramas that had continuous plots and things like that, right? As well as weird stuff. So 26 years afterwards, where we're in the supposed golden age of TV, bringing Twin Peaks back, you can't just jump right back in where you left off. Almost everything surrounding its presence has been changed and influenced by things that have come after it, and just change of the medium itself. And I was delighted to see that not only were they aware of this, David Lynch and Mark Frost, but completely and totally embraced it as well. It is entirely a different thing, and yet the same thing. It's it is inexorably Twin Peaks, but you can tell that they're completely aware that they can't just be I made a joke to a friend of mine before it came on, where I was like, if there's gonna be a last time on Twin Peaks, and like before the premiere, I'm just gonna lose my shit. I'm just gonna like die laughing right then and there. And obviously they didn't do that, but it it was so it is so self-aware of what it is and like what it has come to mean to people, and just from there just decides to do its own thing, which like Twin Peaks has always decided to do. It is shot beautifully, and that kind of like weird comedic awkwardness is still there in some scenes, and as well as like some of the really scary and unsettling bits too. Um, it doesn't just jump right in either on like, let's see what the old gang's up to. Like a good portion of the first two episodes are dedicated to entirely new situations and new characters. And even then you can tell that when it does touch base with like the old characters, that it acknowledges that like 25 years has passed for these people, and most of them are different, are going to be different. So it's beautiful. It has the same spirit. The music is spot on. Like I mentioned to Leon too, is that I was gonna say to people that if you were really super excited about David Lynch coming back, but you hadn't finished the series Twin Peaks or watched Fire Walk with Me, I was like, well, Fire Walk with Me is probably negligible. You probably don't have to see that to. No, absolutely not. I completely renege any possibility of declaring that at all. Fire Walk with Me is like mandatory watching for this. The tonal shift between the TV show and the movie is so crucial to the formation of the return, of the series return, and just like even some of the side characters. There's a mention of there's a character exclusive to the movie that gets paid lip service to in the second episode, and I'm even thinking that I'm crossing my fingers that the actor who played him, again I'm trying to be as vague as possible for Leon's benefit here, but the actor who played him, I'm hoping is going to make an appearance, but I can't tell because he is dead now. So I would love to be able to say more, but I know that there's a lot of people out there right now that haven't seen it yet, and Leon hasn't seen it yet, but watching the first two episodes, I am super delighted. I am so incredibly amazed that it's back. I can scarcely believe it. Everything about it just oozes David Lynch. And I'm so thrilled to have something that David Lynch has directed back in my eyeballs again. It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm so happy. So happy. And the first two episodes don't mess anything up. It is so totally faithful, but it's like it's totally different. It knows that TV is a different thing now. It knows that the way we observe Twin Peaks is a different thing. So it has adapted and kind of changed to fit that. And it's I'm so happy, you guys. This is the most miserable time of my life I've had in like 10 years practically, but I'm so happy right now. So happy.
Good. All right.
So get on that, people who are like wishy-washy, on the fence. Leon, I want you to catch up. I want to nerd. I want to geek out about this. Austin, did you watch it? Austin's got no time for none of this shit.
I haven't watched the new Twin Peaks yet, but I watched the first 3 episodes of American Gods.
Oh. How are you enjoying that?
It is...
Dicks!
It's perfect.
Dicks!
It is so fucking pretentious in exactly my way. Like, I've said this about like 3 things in the history of this show, but I wish I had made it because it is exactly the kind of up its own ass, like religious metaphor meets like cool diverse cast of like people going through all these like elaborate monologues with like bad metaphors and just, oh, it's so good. It's like everything that I wanted and more. I barely remember the book. I remember like 2 plot points from it, so it's basically fresh to me, and I'm living for it. But I haven't started Twin Peaks yet. I'm going to watch all of both as soon as possible. But
Yes. All right.
yeah,
I'm excited because I'm loving both of those things.
are they both on the same service? I watched American Gods through somebody else's subscription. They were like, "Oh, I have it. Do you want to watch it?" And I was like, "Well, obviously," but I don't.
No,
even...
it's all different in Canada. You know,
yeah.
like in Canada, we don't get American Gods till Monday night because nobody's actually airing it on TV. Amazon Prime has it though, which I don't know if it does in America because I think Starz does their digital distribution in the U.S. exclusively, but then they have no Canadian branch, so Amazon has it, and Twin Peaks is I think Bell Media's got it or something like that, and they have a whole bunch of different. I'm watching Twin Peaks on TV on this thing called the Movie Network, which is Canada's primetime kind of catch-all. The Movie Network does our HBO shows and Showtime, and it's weird. So
on my sticky note I have here where I write topics to talk about for the show.
Twin Peaks! I'm sorry.
I just have here written in capital letters, dog. I don't know what that means.
I like dogs.
Oh,
So that
were you half asleep when you did it, and then you went back to sleep, and then you just don't remember what dog you were talking about?
that 100% sounds like me in a half conscious state. I was just I gotta talk about a dog I saw. I just wrote dog. It's the least helpful note I've ever taken. But it made me.
If it's all capital letters, maybe it stands for something.
Yeah, what could that possibly stand for though?
Dentistry.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, all right. So dentistry
Uh-huh.
of Galifianakis. Do you want to talk about Zach Galifianakis' teeth health, his orthodontistry? Does he need braces? I'm worried now, Austin.
Dangerous origami goblin. I have no idea what it means, but what do you guys want to talk about this week besides TV? Because
something weird happened to me this week, guys.
anecdote.
Ooh.
Anecdote.
Something weird. Okay, this is. I'm warning you in advance. This is going to be a little bit of a letdown. All right.
Okay. I just love the way you're prefacing this story.
Yeah, this is gonna be disappointing, okay? But it was a weird experience for me, okay?
See, here's the problem. Even though you said that, my hopes are sky high.
They're still all right, okay. So, both of you know we've been doing this. We've been doing this for long enough now that both of you are aware of the fact that I have no problem with the TMI, right? The too much information. That's not a thing for me. Right?
All right.
Where it's I can have some of the most unsettling things happen to me, and I'm so somebody shoved a camera in my penis, right? So absolutely no problem whatsoever with that, right?
Okay.
Are we agreed on this?
Yeah.
Would you say that this is a characteristic that I possess?
Considering that the camera in the penis thing was not you just off the cuff saying that, and actually a reference to you talking about cameras in your penis before, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is that I have no problem almost talking about anything whatsoever. Something will happen to me, and I'll be like, "Hey, so this thing happened to me." Usually, the only time when I don't talk about stuff is when there's a privacy problem, or somebody else is involved, and I don't want to just be geez, I necked with the Pope, without checking with His Holiness first.
Okay.
Something happened to me on Monday night, okay? My body did something so disgusting, I am uncomfortable talking about it.
All right.
Does it involve pus?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Is it?
No.
Wait.
I've narrowed it down and more than I'd like.
Did it come from a private part?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that long pause. I'm going to leave that in and not edit it down.
That's good radio.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell me about your pus.
I can't. I honestly, I cannot bring myself to talk about this.
What if Austin and I make up stories about your pus, and then you can tell us how accurate we are?
You want to play a game of hot and cold?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I think might have happened. Mm-hmm. You were cooking, and
cold.
Damn. Okay. That's a Johnny thing. You were.
But I mean, I shouldn't say lukewarm.
Okay.
It's cooking adjacent.
You were eating something.
Colder.
You were at a restaurant. You were somewhere where food existed.
Warmer.
Okay, you were at work in the
cold.
lunchroom. Damn it! All right, look. Did something hot or food or drink related get on your body?
No.
Okay. Does this have something to do with something you ingested into your body?
No.
Okay. Were there tools?
No.
I don't know. For some reason, I started thinking of a soldering iron. Okay. Was it someone else's pus?
No.
Okay, so it was your pus.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, as much as anyone can own their pus, right?
Okay. Well, I mean, you didn't give it up.
No. This was not. I did not donate this.
Is this related to in any way a pimple?
That's
or some sort of growth on your body.
Yeah, we could say that.
And you popped it.
That sounds deliberate. There's
okay, you accidentally busted it.
Yeah, we could go with that.
And then it leaked and it was bad.
Bad? Yeah.
The fact that you're talking like that means it's bad. It can't be good.
It was bad. It was bad. And it was what?
Was it a lot? Is that an issue, or is it a quantity or quality amount of pus?
It wasn't alone.
Oh. You had a friend.
No, there was oh man.
There was a lot.
It was gory.
Oh god.
Oh, and there goes Austin.
Austin could not handle Johnny's pus.
It was a bloody, disgusting experience.
I'm really sorry about that.
And it was on the inside of my thigh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's gone again.
Gone again.
I'm sorry to hear about all of that. We'll stop talking about it now.
I just
cannot.
Oh God.
I'm sorry.
It was legit. This is like the most disgusting thing that has ever happened to me.
All right.
No, man, no. Like I cannot verbally describe it because like what you just got there, Leon, was an approximation of
I'm sorry to hear that. I have a disgusting anecdote, but I've decided not to share it right now because I feel like we've gone to Gross Town so much that Austin is like teetering between wanting to quit the podcast forever.
He sounds he sounds like he's not in a good place right now.
No. Austin, is there something let's make it up to Austin. Austin, is there something you would like to talk about?
So is it safe now? I don't know if this was clear, but I left this call.
No, it was. We kept talking about it.
Yeah, it's safe now. I'm done with it. It was legit disgusting.
Yeah, I bet.
That was the grossest thing I think that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
I'm sorry.
This episode is unpublishable. Do you guys?
I'm sorry about your body. What was I talking about, Austin?
That would be a really good, Valentine's Day card. Sorry about your body.
Sorry about your body. I didn't mean to.
Oops. Accidentally. Yeah. So there's not really that much good law stuff to talk about because most of the things that we're into now are like really technical, boring, kind of the stuff that no one actually cares about. It's just like, Rule 101 definitions of works fixed in a tangible medium. Like, no one cares. So I don't have any of that stuff really. I have questions, and I can talk about. Did I play any video games? Not really. My life's so boring, guys.
I'm finally doing it, Austin.
Pokemon.
I'm finally doing it. Guess what I'm finally doing?
PlayStation. Nintendo.
No, like, I should have done this a long time ago because I've been an evangelist for this series of RPGs for years. And then, like, the third one happened, and I was like, I'm going to wait until all the DLC is out to play it, because every single time they've ever done one of the other ones, I always miss the DLC, and
Witcher.
then I'm always like, I should go. Yes, I'm finally doing it. Because I finished Red Dead Redemption, and I was redeemed.
Good.
Yep. And then I was like, well, I could go right on to David Cage, or I should play something really good. Because, all right, that sounds like I'm about to shit on Red Dead Redemption, which I am. So brace yourselves, everybody. Red Dead Redemption is good, but it's good in that way that, like, Grand Theft Auto 4 was good,
Yeah.
Where it was like, this is an impressive technical feat, and I like how you've crammed this game full of stuff, but every time the, like, characters speak up, I just want to be like, you guys don't belong in this game. Because that was Grand Theft Auto 4 all over, which is like, nice guy, comes from Eastern Europe, wants to make a fresh start of it in America, and pretty soon he's just throwing, like, bottles full of gasoline lit on fire at pedestrians, just being like, hooray, the American dream! And, like, by and large, Red Dead Redemption had the same problem, I noticed, where it was like, I just want to be a rancher. Now, excuse me, while I could just go shoot, like, 200 people in the nuts. So I finished that, and that got a little tiresome. That Rockstar thing got a little tiresome. So then, like, afterwards, I was like, maybe I should go right on to David Cage and play Beyond Two Souls. But then I was like, nah, I think I should be nice to myself for a little while first. Because I know that you said you'd go to bat for Beyond Two Souls, Austin, but it's still a David Cage game.
I mean, it's a modest-sized bat, right? Like, I'm not in there doing some Jose Canseco shit, right? Like,
yeah, it's like T-ball.
Yeah,
it's like wiffle bat.
It's minor league. I'm saying I'll get up there. I'm not promising any kind of Babe Ruth feats. It's just not as bad as people say it is. I mean, I don't know what there is to say about Red Dead Redemption, right? Like, it's a super good game. I'm sure it hasn't aged particularly well mechanically, because not a lot of games from that era have. And either you like Rockstar's humor or you don't, right? And also, it just is a video game. And there are certain things that means. Like, yeah, you shoot a lot of people in the nuts. Like, so.
Yeah, and I got no problem with shooting people in the nuts. I want to make that, like, abundantly clear. Like, when I play Superhot VR, all I do is just shoot people in the nuts. Like, that's it. That's top to bottom. That game is just like, how can I get this, and I'm gesturing at a ninja star, on that, and then I'm pointing at, like, some other dude's nuts. So, it's just, yeah, the problem I have, like, Grand Theft Auto 5 I did not have that problem with, because everybody in Grand Theft Auto 5 is kind of cartoony. I have different problems with Grand Theft Auto 5, but not that problem. The problem I had with Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead Redemption was that the main character they often played as straight. It was like, he is the only bastion of sanity in a world gone mad. And then, like, everybody that you work for is just nuts. Or stupid and nuts. I like to say nuts. Anyways. Yeah, and so that just got old. So The Witcher 3 is really good.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what's happening with this conversation?
Is the point of this. You played no video games this week?
Nah, man. I got classes and I got so many works, editing so many podcasts.
Aw, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about who I am.
No, I just, I'm sorry about capitalism. having to pay tons of money to go to school to do a profession that you would probably be very good at, and thus like benefit society having like that education and that opportunity to do that. But then like, gotta pay to eat, dog.
Don't eat dog. Maybe that's what the note is about.
Did you eat a dog?
I don't think so. That doesn't sound like
One
me.
would hope.
No, it really doesn't.
I don't, because, okay, so usually when you come onto the show and we're like, oh, so there's a new trailer or that new video game everyone's talking about, but I like pop open social media and it's just like looking into a volcano.
Look, I don't want to blow Twin Peaks. I mean,
Yeah.
how much can you blow in like, the first couple episodes? Not a whole lot, because a lot of the characters are quite new. Matthew Lillard's in it, and he's doing a remarkably good job, because I was like, forgive me, but based on his body of work, I had not really thought much of Matthew Lillard. But he's doing great. Like, I really like his character, But there's certain things that I can't say about some of the old characters without there being some very specific end of the series spoiler stuff for Leon. There's a very interesting tree in it. It's pretty interesting.
One would hope. I mean, there would be trees.
Yeah. I'm talking about a specific one. Very specific tree. Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, it's there. In true word funk fashion, we're going to have to wait until it's old news to talk about it.
Yeah. I have things I could talk about, but I'm not positive that they're interesting, and that's a shame.
Well, start. Warm me up. Come on. Show me a
Okay.
little bit of love, Leon.
Okay.
Ease me into it. Be like, hey, honey, have I ever talked to you about YouTube metrics?
Oh God. That actually does
Leon!
That actually does remind me of something. I got. I'm not gonna recite it. I got the one of the worst comments ever on my channel earlier. Not even about me, because those are fine, but just sort of like vile and hate and like full of hate. And it's religion based, and it's just one of
really?
It's just one of the reasons why I'm like very very comfortable turning off my comments for the upcoming movie that we were talking about. By the way,
can I just quickly interject and say that when you talked
Absolutely.
about that, I did not want listeners to take my attempts at like trying to weasel around it as being like tacit permission to weasel around it. Like, if the man doesn't want any comments on his YouTube video, leave him be.
Yeah. But I'm fine with I not only do I have no say in it, but I'm fine with people discussing it elsewhere. In fact, I have made sure that you can, because people who write reviews who don't work for websites and whatnot usually write their reviews at Letterboxd. And my movie has a Letterboxd page, like a normal movie that like Con Air. That's the first movie I can think of. Just like any other movie, it has a Letterboxd page, and if you can write reviews of it when it comes out, and tell me how much you hate it or whatever, or not. But there are options for you to talk about this thing. It just won't be directly under the video itself. I made a poster for it, and by made one, I mean I used old art from centuries ago and designed around it.
So do you mind if I go to Letterboxd and write a review about how it's not enough like Meet the Spartans?
Of course.
All
I would insist upon it. I was thinking about something earlier today. And everyone who I've ever, and let me preface by saying this. This is anecdotal. It is not. I have not conducted a proper scientific survey.
Is
of
it
this.
pus related?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, good.
What I mean is, I have only anecdotal evidence of this, and like everyone who has ever brought up the band Nickelback says that they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone who I've ever encountered says they either don't like it or haven't listened to enough to make a judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met someone who says I really love Nickelback.
I have,
and yet, oh, okay, that's fine. Let me get to that in a minute. But I find it, in my experience, it is extremely rare, in spite of the fact that the subject comes up quite a bit in musical conversations because they're so popular and also so hated, and yet I never really hear too many people actually go to bat for Nickelback, in spite of the fact that their albums sell so many. Mm-hmm. Like even today, because who buys albums? But they apparently are still very, very popular.
I buy albums.
That's cool. But the thing is, it's like, and there's sort of like this joke, like, where are all these people? But I have a different interpretation. Mm-hmm. Some of you motherfuckers are lying. Some of you really like Nickelback, and you just don't want to admit it because it's the joke in rock music that like it's like the most crapped upon band when you say, oh, what's a bad band? I don't know, Nickelback. And I don't really have strong feelings because I don't really listen to music. Of the Nickelback I've heard, I don't like it. But whatever. So here's my experiment to give the audience something to do. If you like Nickelback, write the show. Tell me why you do. Tell us in the comments. Don't be scared. I don't have strong enough opinions about music to give you a hard time about it. Because I feel like there's just like a huge closet of Nickelback fans out there, based on, and again, my anecdotal evidence of who I encounter talking about Nickelback.
I knew a guy who was really into Nickelback.
This is something I want to hear about because that has never happened to me in all of my years. So tell me about it.
He was a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and if I recall correctly, he started to get into Nickelback around like the early 2000s, I think it was, or something like that. Okay. And I didn't become a driver. I didn't drive until I'm trying to remember. It took me a long time. I was in my 20s by the time I got a driver's license. So when we would hang out, he had this like little beat up car. He would drive everywhere. And I remember distinctly this one particular night where we were driving down to Crescent Beach, which is a place. And he had this music on the stereo, and he was like, oh, you gotta check this out, and he turns it up, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's this new band from Alberta or something like that, you know, they're called Nickelback, I'm really into them right now. And I was like, oh, okay. And at the time, you know, like they were still kind of a new thing, so nobody had really been like, oh my god, everything they write sounds the same, you know, because that is by and large like the big Nickelback joke.
Yeah,
is that
Johnny, just to interject, was your friend's name Patrick Bateman?
No.
Okay.
No, was not Patrick Bateman.
Tee-hee. Okay, go ahead.
And yeah, so like I was, to me it just sounded like cock rock, you know, like just that bro juice, like get your swag flowing, yeah, kind of, you know. I was like, oh, all right, because I mean at the time I was into more esoteric stuff. That was because when I was a teenager I was really into like industrial metal and like electronic music and crap like that. And then in my early 20s I branched out, became a more esoteric listener. So I was getting into like fringe stuff, I guess, like weird stuff, and he was playing me this like Alberta bleach tips rock music, and I was like, whatever, dude. But yeah, he stuck with it. I mean, last I heard from him, he was still riding that Nickelback convoy.
Okay.
So if you can hear me, Dan, You're a legend, buddy.
I have a follow-up question to this. Is Nickelback seen differently in Canada because it is a Canadian band? Like, is it not as much of a joke there?
No.
Oh, it's roughly the same?
It's still, it's still a bit of a joke.
Okay. That's a shame.
I think in, like, different parts of the country,
yeah,
I believe in the prairies, they probably take them a little bit more seriously because they're, kind of like down home, salt of the earth sorts of people. And that's, like, Canada is very like America in that regard, insofar as that, like, on one side we have, on one side we have the Maritimes, but, like, by and large, kind of like when people talk about the east of Canada, there's like, we got Montreal and Toronto and things like that, and that's where bands like Arcade Fire and Stars have, come out of. So, and then on the West Coast, there's, like, Vancouver, which has bands like Hot Hot Heat, and I think for a while Check was... No, they were Portland, I think. Although I know I went to school with the guy who drummed for Check for a while, because their original drummer died, and then he replaced them, or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, but in between, there's, like, the oil sands and ranch country and stuff like that, and, like, not a lot else. It's very flat. Lots of Alberta beef, And I think that's a thing. That's a big thing in Canada, where it's like, Alberta cows are like, because when it's like, when a McDonald's commercial comes on in Canada, they're like, isn't it great to be Canadian? Yep. Just like our French fries that we 100% make from, like, Nova Scotia potatoes. I mean, Prince Edward Island potatoes, because those are some potatoes, all right. And then our burgers, which are beef, but not just any beef. They're like pure Alberta beef from cows that were in Alberta. That's the kind of beef that we love, because it's Canadian. McDonald's, kind of Canadian, right? That's no, seriously, that's a thing. So yeah,
there's so much to learn.
Alberta beef. There we go. Also, incidentally, my first adult film star name, Alberta Beef.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's so refreshing to just get to take an episode off.
I'm working here.
Yeah. Austin's just chilling while we're just talking about beef and pus. It's great.
Not just any kind of beef.
Oh, right.
Apparently somebody running for office just body slammed a reporter. If you're trying to place when this episode was recorded, that's when that just happened.
Oh, who and why?
I guess he's running...
And when you say body slam, are we talking like...
Yeah. Was it a scoop slam or was it like a grill press slam? Because those are noticeably different.
Thank you, Leon.
If there's video of it, I'm not aware. I'm just reading, like, headlines. Okay. It's he's running for, like, in a Montana special election of some sort, and... reporter.
Well, it's a special election now, that's for certain.
It's it's a pay-per-view, really.
We started late because my life is in shambles. Do you guys want to answer questions?
I have one more thing I want to talk about. I overheard I was somewhere. It doesn't matter exactly where I was, but there was food around, so this makes it especially not okay. And I heard some man talking to another man about what he called his semen. And what he called it was God sauce. And I only caught about 2 minutes of this conversation because I wasn't personally invested. And Austin laughed.
I've heard like baby batter before,
I know, but like God sauce is a bit much. Austin keeps leaving.
A fresh hot load of Jesus cocktail.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to it, and again, I shouldn't have listened to any of it, but I'm like, first of all, that's weird. Why would you say that about yourself? And also, why would you share this with another person? And another thing, don't bring God into this. He's busy making hurricanes and being ambiguous.
Yeah,
and
but Leon, don't you know the reason why he's making hurricanes is because guys are putting their God sauce in the wrong holes?
Oh, God. Oh, sauce.
Okay. Are you guys done saying that phrase?
I don't think I'm ever gonna be done saying that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Austin.
I'm taking that word with me to my grave. It's gonna be on my headstone.
Oh, I just find. Look, here's the thing. Like, I guess I should encourage sex positivity, but I feel like there's a line between, you know, being open about your sexual interests and just being kind of gross, like a gross dude. And I feel like, and it's hard to see that line. I admit that it's hard to see that line, and maybe, you know, maybe that's just me. But I feel like the line is right around naming your juices a very extravagant thing.
Yeah, like I don't believe that euphemizing is, if that's a word.
It might be.
That euphemizing these things counts as sex positive. Because I can say the word ejaculate and have like no reaction to that.
Yeah.
That's very like ejaculate. It's like, yes, ejaculate is a thing, you know.
It sure is.
But then like, yeah, when I hear that,
yep,
I say pointedly, I'm just kind of like that is at the same time a concoction of a measure of shame and grandiosity that I can't calculate.
Okay.
You know, like, because on the one side you can't like just acknowledge it as an anatomical function or presence. You can't just be like, oh, ejaculate, semen, oh, you know. But it's like instead of being like, oh, around polite company we call it something else. But then it's like, okay, so instead of having a slightly like PG-13 version where, you know, you don't have to explain to the underage kids and be like, well, you see, ejaculate is a fluid suspension. But then, like, making that phrase, that, like, let me just hoist this up on a pedestal here, is, misguided.
He wasn't just talking about it. He was talking about in the context of a woman who he's allegedly seeing, and that's the thing that sort of irked me. Because it's like, look, I know I'm going to say not enough about women, but I would have to believe that were he to say, hey, do you want some of my, and then that phrase, I would have to say that there are only like two reactions that a woman would make to that. Like first would probably be to laugh. The other one would be a little scared, because that sounds like the kind of thing that like a character from a Hannibal Lecter novel would say to his victims. I was
gonna say it sounds something like something specifically you would baste pork with.
Oh God. Yeah.
Because be like, you're not supposed to eat this, but just all you gotta do is just get yourself a little bottle of the God sauce right here. Just holies it right up.
Yeah. Oh, he kept saying the word holy, too, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I'm not even kidding.
This fellow obviously thinks a lot of himself.
Yeah, it was a little much.
What the fuck? Were you at some kind of cult meeting? What the fuck?
No,
what the actual
I was in
living
public.
fuck?
I was in public where there were other people around. I was alone. But there were other people, but I don't mean like I was alone in a room and someone just kept saying it to me. I mean, I was in public by myself and there were other people in earshot.
Like,
and
why can't you just be a regular person and call it greased lightning like everybody else?
Jesus.
I can't, I'm just, like, Leon's in the supermarket, he's, like, squeezing oranges to see which ones are ripe, and someone just sidles up next to him, he's like, you want to hear my jizz words? Like, what is going on in your life, dude?
Incidentally, gentlemen, my prior disgusting story happened in a supermarket.
Oh, wow.
Hate this episode, hate it a lot.
Okay. it's also like, I don't know. I feel like the grandiosity of it and like adding like religious context to it I guess was like the tipping point for me.
It's like those fucking like I don't even know if it's like an umbrella under like men's rights activists, but like those fucking incel guys who are like my powerful seed, which I must keep from women folks because something wizardry. I don't know. Yeah. All I ever see is people making fun of them. So I'm not sure.
When I realized that my seed had the power to create life, I thought, why should I waste this on pixels?
I actually genuinely don't know what the fuck they're trying to get at. All I ever see is people clowning on them. So any like jokes I would make would literally be made up. Like there would be like no premise that I can actually take there. What do they actually think they're achieving?
I think this was Cernovich or whatever it was who was like, who called it super serum.
Fuck off.
You know, Captain America.
Fuck off.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, they seem to think for some reason that expenditure of ejaculate dilutes the potency of it.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
There's nothing. Guess what? There's nothing magic about your balls. That's a fact. That's just a thing. They're just two very, very delicate orbs that kind of dangle at an awkward height, an awkward elevation below your crotch. They don't do anything special, because guess what? Just about every walking creature on Earth has a set of them. That's it. Congratulations.
Congratulations on your balls.
Congratulations on your balls.
Yeah. I'm trying to fit the word crucigism into this conversation, but I just can't find a good way. So we're not going to. That's it.
I appreciate your ambition.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to now. This has gone too far. How about instead of everything else we were doing just now, we answer questions. We answer questions from our wonderful fans.
We're in it now.
Because
tell me your jizz words.
That's all I got.
I'm a
made
classicist.
one joke.
I just go with cum.
Okay.
But I'm with Alan Cumming on this as well. Okay, is that is when you're talking about the noun, it is cum.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about the verb, it's come.
Okay. Everyone's out here doing like fucking grad school level work on this stuff. Why are you? Why is everyone thinking so hard about this?
Look, I was just in the vicinity, and I'm reporting back to you. I don't have strong feelings about that at all, oddly enough. I mean, it actually should not seem that odd for me. So I don't know. I guess people like, it's like in Doctor Strangelove, where people like think of it as like a symbol of their not just like sexual potency, but like who they are.
Virility.
Yeah, like more than that. Yeah, like it's not just.
Well, I was just gonna say, I've always found it like so peculiar that weird cliche that men like distance themselves from their genitals. You know, where it's like they have a tendency to think of their genitals as kind of like an exterior tool that it's like, yes, I employ this.
What is happening?
No, like, you know, it's like giving it names and just being like that. Yeah, that weirds me out because, you know, like it's a part of me. My penis is a part of me.
Yeah,
and I can acknowledge that it's like, yes, you know, the whole like it's like the mind body division. It's like with some men, it's mind body penis.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I am comprised of three things. There is my mind, there is my body, and then there's Mr. Winky.
Come to Wordfunk, where we talk about bleeding sores and also Cartesian dualism. What's up?
Yeah, you know, David Hume said a lot about the body penis dualism. All right, so
I can't believe what this show is. It's so fucking gross.
There's nothing gross about penises, Austin. They're beautiful things.
No, but the way we talk about them and treat them and use them, like everything they're employed for, is pretty gross. Like nobody can just just be cool. Can you just be cool for like 5 minutes?
I'm cool, baby.
Penis havers are so extra. I just wish they would chill.
The problem with this episode, besides all the other things, is that all the good lines can't be the title.
I mean, good is very relative. Okay, I guess we could do questions. Save us questions.
Yeah, why not?
If there are any body fluid related ones, let me know.
There always are. There's like a couple of themes that run through these. One is just people trolling me, like the avocados thing, which you guys really missed the boat on this one because avocados were like viral for like a week there. And if I wouldn't automatically screen all of those out, I bet there was some quality content. You played yourselves.
Yeah, I was aware of that. I had not known, that my investment portfolio last month of buying a loaf of sourdough bread and 3 avocados would shoot up in value so dramatically.
I know, and now you own the entire West Coast.
It was a surprise to me.
And yeah, there's just a lot of like weird, gross sex questions. Of course, always.
Always.
Yeah, and I try to grab the ones that are usually funniest. Jesus, guys. Everyone's just being a lot right now. TLW asks, if someone wanted to get back into watching wrestling after 20 years, where should they start?
Jesus. Oh my god.
Yeah. This is actually, I mean, I'm not going to, but if I ever would, I actually kind of am curious how you would accomplish this feat.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what worked for me, and it wasn't actually just watching wrestling. It was watching YouTube channels about wrestling and realizing that the community that watches wrestling isn't what you think it is. It's a lot of like kind of like dorky, jokey people like just kind of having fun with it. If you want to get back into wrestling, I would actually honestly go to What Culture Wrestling YouTube channel. It's just really funny. And that was part of what got me back into it. Just kind of like realizing that it's supposed to be funny, I guess, and like I could always use that. I would actually recommend that. I wouldn't recommend just watching a wrestling show like, oh, you should watch WrestleMania 31. No, I mean, like, just, like, watch people talk about wrestling. The feeling of community about it was something that invited me back into it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought my newsfeed is a constant, just roiling, like, propane explosion, and I just saw that apparently our education secretary says private schools receiving public funds can discriminate against LGBT students for any reason.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
I mean, basically everything they've ever tried to do is illegal. So who Sorry, that's a downer. Just that's what I was doing in a way.
Can I just say about Betsy DeVos, because as I understand it, the large consensus is she bought her way into the job.
Yeah,
or mommy and daddy bought her way into the job.
She's married to a billionaire, and she comes from a billionaire family who owns Blackwater, which is like the actual like Legion of Doom. Like they're a company that goes around and kills civilians for money. Yeah, it's the thing they do.
Yeah. So
they're called Blackwater for God's sake. It's not even a good like. They're not on the DL either. Fuck.
I actually saw someone with a Blackwater like bumper sticker the other day, and I was like, we are not gonna be friends.
But the thing about it is that I find so amazing is that like she was really eager to buy her way into a job that's gonna fucking embarrass her.
Yeah. Well, because she's never even been to a public school. Why would she need to be in charge of them? It's preposterous.
I know that. Just like I'm kind of like my mind blisters.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Johnny. Like, you're assuming she has shame, and I have learned recently that a lot of people just don't.
Yeah, it's kind of a liability frankly.
Shame's a liability.
Yeah, because a lot of people who succeed in life don't really question, like, so there's this thing that you see a lot of creative people talk about, imposter syndrome, as like the feeling that, you know, that like they don't really deserve to be where they are. And a lot of those people try their best and they're talented and they're fine. But like the people who are above them almost certainly just never stop to think about that kind of stuff. They just force themselves into wherever they want to be. And society has surprisingly few, like, actual ways to filter those kind of people out. Like, we kind of just assume everybody's acting in good faith, and that's clearly not the case.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff is just, like, social conventions, right? And we all just, like, well, everyone knows you shouldn't apply for a thing you're not qualified for, but a lot of people just do it. I don't know. Oh, man, that just got weird and ranty at the end. More questions.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just, guys, so many people are going to find this show, right, on a hard drive somewhere in the wasteland, and they're going to listen to it, and they're going to be like, really, this is what you all were thinking during the final days? Like,
we had to do something.
I guess. So we had to figure out some way to spend our time. I saw one that I was going to, and then I scrolled past it. I don't know how I'm not better at asking questions. We've been doing this for like literal, actual years at this point, right? Cyretha says, Johnny, could you tweet more videos of you cooking, please? Love that pork butt. That was,
yeah, sure.
That was an erotic experience when you tweeted that. You just going pork butt, pork butt, and you just like poking a pork butt. I watched that a shameful number of times.
I mean, you know, there were more cooking photos and videos on my Instagram page.
Oh shit, you're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram.
So fancy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
I keep forgetting that just because we're old and uncool doesn't mean we have to let everyone else know that. We could just pretend like we're not, guys. We could get Snapchat.
Yeah.
No one's stopping us.
I don't like the impermanence of Snapchat.
Oh, I mean, someone's keeping it somewhere. The company's selling your data, so they need your...
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
I'll stick with my Instagram. But yes, there are other videos of me cooking on Instagram, as well as doing weird things.
Yeah, I mean, it's you, so...
Yeah, I know. Acme doors.
Oh, God. Lurberg asks, describe the worst housing situation you've ever been in.
I already have on a previous episode in which I described my life in Montenegro.
Is that it? That was the worst ever?
Yeah. Oh, by far. I mean, just I'll just try to recap this in less than a minute, so people don't have to, do a search.
Listen to one of our good episodes.
Yeah, it was one room. There was no bed. There was no television or cable or internet connection. There was no bathroom. There were mice. There were mosquitoes. I mean, that covers it. It wasn't habitable in any. I mean, I did in fact live there and survived it, but by most standards, it was unacceptable, I would say. I don't miss it, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Done.
I mean, I've told the story about how I was homeless before, but that really amounted to me ending up like sleeping in a hotel that I wasn't paying for, which actually was not like bad, all things considered. Probably the actual worst. I mean, that was bad like for a bunch of other reasons, not related to the building. The actual worst is probably like my late teens, and I just lived in an actual trailer, like a total stereotype, like just a actual, like when you say like double wide trailer, it's just that, like not enough room for humans. And there was like holes in the floor, because I think like whatever like made the pipes or whatever were leaked and just like ate the floor, and so there was like a big hole in like the bathroom and the kitchen. And also I kicked a hole in the wall because of myself, because of the way that I am. So that was a very bad place.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
No,
really.
Canada's like us, but their racists are like way more quiet about it. Apparently, like you got them, but they like know how to keep their shit on lock. Apparently,
any problems that I have with our national identity aside, I come from a pretty like well-to-do middle-class family. I'm very fortunate. I've never really had to worry about lodgings for my entire life, pretty much. So
That's neat.
yeah, I'm a thankful person. I acknowledge that.
All right.
I like when Leon says things are neat because it's so genuine. He's like, "That's neat."
I say I say things are neat all the
I
time.
know, I like it.
Like my friend messaged me on Facebook out of nowhere, and she let me know that she met a Kennedy, and she always wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "That's neat. Was he nice?" And she said, "Yes." I like having really pure conversations with my friend who's just excited about things.
Yeah.
But yeah, some things are neat. Okay.
It's good to be excited about things. Melissa asks, are there any Canadian bands you would recommend seeing in concert? This feels like a Johnny question. Like, I like a lot of Canadian bands, but I don't know if I've ever seen any in concert, and it's a totally different thing to be good live than it is in the studio. So this is an important distinction.
I mentioned them earlier. Stars puts on a pretty good show. If you get a chance to see any of Spencer Krug's projects live, I mean, Sunset Rubdown's not really around anymore, but Wolf Parade just got back together again. They do some really interesting things. Spencer Krug is a very diverse composer. So a lot of the times when he plays live, the arrangements will be a lot different than the albums. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. What else? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, nah.
I'm racking my brain of every concert I've ever been to, and I don't think any of them are Canadian. Like, literally, I've never seen a Canadian band live, I don't think. I own a ton of Canadian
I don't think a
music,
lot
though.
of them make it down to Florida, probably. So
No. I mean, I saw Jane's Addiction in L.A. So I mean, that's local to there, but yeah, everything else I think was in Florida. My brother went to I've ever talked about this before. My brother went to an Alice in Chains concert without me, and I still haven't forgiven him. I'm salty to this day.
Godspeed You Black Emperor, they put on a good show. There's like 12 of them in that band or something like that.
Yeah, all their songs are a year long.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's interesting to see them iterate on them live, because a lot of the times, even though they'll start playing a song and like hit major points and things like that, they will have these big like improvisational breakouts like right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Godspeed, they have some pretty good live vibes. There's a Canadian guitarist, kind of a raconteur, if you will, named Hayden. Hayden puts on a good show. He's kind of funny in a very, very dry way. I quite like his live performances. Ooh, I'm trying to think who else. Because it's like I'm going through my head and I'm like, okay, who have I seen live? Mm-hmm. Okay, now of those people, who are Canadian?
I think a lot of metal really is, especially like the more technical it gets, is a lot more interesting live than you'd think. Because
oh shit, yeah, metal, Devin Townsend.
I haven't seen that. I was just thinking like bands I would never buy their albums, I would see live.
Yeah, Devin Townsend has like a shit ton of bands. They were what were they called? Strapping Young Lad was one. The Devin Townsend Band, Devin Townsend Project, Casualties of Cool, Punky Brewster, but spelt B-R-U with an umlaut over it. He played with Frontline Assembly for a little while. Yeah, he's a really, really amazing guitarist. I'm not super into metal, but I always love to go see Devin Townsend play. Yeah, his guitar work was just fucking like incredible shit.
Yeah. I saw Zakk Wylde live, and he fucking played with his teeth at one point. It's seeing that kind of shit in person. It's basically going to like Cirque du Soleil at a certain point if they're good enough. Yeah, I assume Leon just went to check his email during this question.
I'm reading the Wikipedia entry of Arlo Guthrie, so as soon as you guys are like done, I'm ready to do the next.
This is okay. So Edgeboy Gregor asks, "I'm sorry, this is a Dice Funk question, but will there ever be characters in a Dice Funk campaign who use they/them pronouns?" And I thought this might be interesting to answer, even though I'm not talking about plot stuff right now. So I had planned several times, and I keep fucking it up. Like, I keep thinking, like, okay, so this person is non-binary, and I'm like, and then when the characters meet them, I'm like, hi, this is blank. He says X, and I'm like, well, fuck, I ruined that. I messed that whole shit up. It's me. I'm bad. That's 100% me being bad at this thing. I also, in season 2, this is like, so obviously if you listen to the show, you know, diversity is important to me, both in players and characters. Like, I think we're approaching like half LGBT players at this point, if we haven't reached that already. And I like, there was a character in season 2 who in my head was trans, like an NPC, and it just never came up. Because why would it, right? Like, people don't, like, there's a character in, I think, Mass Effect Andromeda who's like, hi, my name is X and my dead name is Y, and everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, that's not, like, that's just very bad. Like, it's clearly written by a cis person, and I didn't want to do that. Obviously, this was before Andromeda came out, but I was trying not to be that bad cis writer, and it just never came up. And so that's a thing I'm constantly thinking about, is like, I wanted to do right by people who want to see themselves reflected in the things I make. But I am also coming from a place of privilege, which sometimes makes it hard. So the answer to the question is, I've definitely thought about it, and I definitely want to, and I've actually tried and failed, just because I can't, my mouth is bad. But it's something I'm interested in exploring, and it's something that I want to get right. Right? Like, I don't want to just do it to say I've done it. And I also want to be careful with the implications, because there's another RPG podcast I listened to, The Adventure Zone, where they had a non-binary character, and it was like a golem. So it was like, hey, non-binary people, you exist, and you're dirt monsters or something. I don't know. It was a weird implication. It was like, you can't I'm sure this wasn't intentional. The McElroys are super cool, but it was just, to me, read like, what are people who aren't male or female? What are they like? Well, I'm sure they're nothing like us and totally alien to our experiences. It was, I didn't want anyone to be able to like look at it and think those kind of things. And I've said this before, like, there was a bunch of gay characters in season 2, and I was trying to avoid the trope where, you know, bury your gays, where gay characters die for drama. And then at a certain point, one of our players who was queer, who was playing a queer character, made a decision that killed some of them. And it was like, I could stop this because I have that power as a DM, but it's also like a straight white man saying, I don't think the way you're doing this art is right, queer person playing a queer person. I think I know what's best for these queer characters. Like, I mean, I don't think I would have stopped it anyway, just because I trusted the person who was making the decision. But like, those things are going on in my head, and I'm doing the best I can, and I absolutely know I could be better, and I'm trying. So I don't even know where this answer is going. But do you guys have any thoughts on anything I just said to try to dig me out of this hole? Help, please, I'm so far down.
I think you said pretty much all of it.
Okay. That's probably smart not to let me drag you into the hole. So you should probably run. Gosh. All right.
Apparently, like, just going back here, there is audio of the body slamming incident.
Yeah.
It's actually not funny. Let's see. It's actually disturbing listening to it.
Oh, you listened to it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. I just listened to it very briefly. The reporter was asking him a question, and the dude just flipped his shit. And it's like, I'm sick and tired of you guys, and just like we can only hear audio, but basically he assaulted. It's very clearly he assaulted him. Yeah, he's just a real piece of shit. as it turns out. Montana Republican Greg Giaforte. I hope I'm saying that right, but frankly, fuck this guy. I don't care about pronouncing his name correctly. He seems like a real turd. Okay, that was our update on that. As news is breaking, as we are podcasting about cum and stuff.
We record this and then release it like 4 days later, so it's the most breaking source for all your news.
Yeah.
Dateline, body slam.
Yeah. Here's another Leon question. JJ Hernandez says, has Leon ever tried getting back into comics? Because the writer of Ex Machina has a new series that is very, very good. Or
is it Saga?
I do not know.
I think I think that's what it is. I've heard that it is good. But man, I don't have time for another hobby. I'm sorry.
I've heard of Saga, and the only thing I've heard of it is that like it takes elements from anime. So I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard.
Okay.
Which I can understand why people be into that.
Yeah, it is.
Brian Vaughan.
I just looked. Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan. I just looked it up. Yeah, that is definitely the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I've heard it's good. But I just, I don't want to go back into that rabbit hole. I'm sorry. I'm not. I just got back into wrestling. That's taken up a lot of my headspace on my free time. That's my free time stuff is me fooling around with wrestling and stuff. Everything else is work. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear it. It's just the best.
Holy Christ on a sandwich. This dude has won like Infinity Eisner Awards. He won for Ex Machina, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Why the Last Man, Saga.
Oh yeah.
And something called Private Eye. He's incredibly decorated.
Yeah.
I have the whole Why the Last Man saga. It's a great comic.
Oh yeah.
Nice. If I was going to read comics, this seems like where I'd want to start.
He's very, very good. Yeah, he was one of my favorites when I was reading. But I just, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not gonna.
And he wrote a bunch of episodes of Lost for TV.
Yeah, he's done like television work too. He does a bunch of stuff.
I've seen like 2 episodes of Lost. There's a bear. That's what I know.
Sure is.
Justice Stallion asked our opinions on Dice Funk cartoons and animatics. All the ones I've seen, I've retweeted, and I love them to death. If there's some that I haven't seen, you should send them to me on Twitter at Austin Yorsky so I can show everybody. I really like the one where it's Drop punching the orc a lot. That was amazing. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Gosh, how do you even get good at something like that besides just being a witch? It's so like beyond my experience. Like I see somebody who can like turn their joints the wrong way. I'm like, oh, so you just have things I can't access. That's the way I feel about art. Kanai asks, if Leon were a wrestler, what would his entrance music be? He hates music.
Oh no, I already know what that is.
Oh, shit.
I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right, because if I don't, I'll look like an asshole. Mm-hmm. So just give me 1 minute and I'll be right back with it.
Okay.
It is I'm gonna say it wrong. God damn it.
There we go.
Shit.
It's Leon. It's pronounced
I'm
God sauce.
It's it's number 4 in D minor, Sarabande. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. It's by George Handel, and the version I like the most is from Barry Lyndon. So that would be my entrance theme, and my gimmick would be that I'm like a sophisticate. And I would come to the ring and sort of like wipe my feet on the mat before entering it, like William Regal did. And,
or on your valet.
Oh gosh. Oh, I should have a valet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
you know
what would your gimmick be question, but there's new dimensions to it now.
Yeah. Oh, now I would like there to be a valet. You know what? I've just decided what I should do is that the valet will be my stairs to the ring. Like I will step on him
Holy shit.
and enter, and everyone will feel bad for the valet, which will lead up to an eventual turn where I now feud with the valet and he wins.
No, the valet joins me and we seize the means of production from your ass.
Ooh, oh my!
That would go over really well with the target demographics.
Why not?
All right, so last question I think we have time for. Cosmignon, Ink Master General, wants to know, do you have a favorite paranormal creature and or urban legend, whether or not you believe it's real?
I got a soft spot for Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. Mm-hmm. I remember being really spooked out by that when I was like 5, like a long time ago, but like as I get older, I actually think it's just like cool aesthetically, like the thing in the mirror.
There's something like, I don't know, I like the idea of it just being like this, like, accessible evil.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of like conspiracy theories and like all these kind of stories is that like if they're too easy to test, like someone would have just got it on camera by now. Like
totally. But just I like the idea that it's something bad that you have to call. It doesn't just show up at your door like zombies, brains.
Take some responsibility for summoning things which do not belong.
To defeat Bloody Mary, just don't say her name.
Got her.
It's like the most defeatable villain that there is.
My real answer to this is I like Loch Ness Monster just because I think like plesiosaurs look really freaking cool. Like they're just very well designed from an aesthetic point of view. I just like I'm big ups to the big G who designed them out there. But I do like the idea that we could add to this pantheon of urban legends, and I would like to submit my nominee, which is the guy who talks about his cum in public, because that's a spooky story that could happen to anyone.
Yeah, I'm changing my answer to Splendor Man.
Okay.
Who is this, like, really tall, thin, sort of, like, faceless kind of creature who is always dressed immaculately.
Okay.
Just like, crisp, son.
I would have went with Splenda Man and say he replaced everybody's sugar.
Oh.
No, there's nothing funny about that.
Fuck.
Oh, damn. He just dumped on your shit.
I know.
Wow.
Savage.
Right. It's the serious answer to this question. I guess I don't know how serious this is, but when I was young, I was all about like UFOs and aliens and stuff. Not just because of the X-Files, but also because there was this really terrible TV show on Fox called Sightings, and I loved it to death. It was so shit. But there was a lot of like alien abduction stuff on it, and I was really into that as a wee tot.
Ooh, what's the other one? The one that I really like is the house that eats people.
Deathbed, the bed that eats.
No. It's this
Amityville?
No, it's actually like an internet thing and something like that.
Oh, House, the Japanese movie House.
No, it's not the Japanese movie House.
I'm looking up the house that eats people right now.
Have you?
It's like
there is a thing.
Yeah. There's an internet one that I'm thinking of in particular. What is it?
I googled house that eats people, and I got the 2006 film Monster House.
I found an article that said tales of houses that eat people. So there's more than one.
If you guys haven't seen the Japanese film House, you absolutely should. It is phenomenal. I saw it in theaters. I think it's in the Criterion Collection. It is. That's a fact.
All right.
I like Mothman too, but just the Shin Megami Tensei version, or he's fuzzy. It's very cute. I'm surprised nobody said Chupacabra. That seemed like a slam dunk.
Nah, Chupacabra's lame.
Whoa!
I mean, especially
throwing shade.
especially if you're actually familiar with the origin of the Chupacabra story.
It means goats suck.
No, I mean like the first time that somebody saw the goat sucker. Okay,
I'm sorry, that's what chupa means.
I know. Look, the very first time that somebody saw the goat sucker, what they described was like almost like fucking detail for detail Natasha Henstridge's monster in the movie Species, which weirdly, coincidentally enough, the person had just seen like the night before.
Okay.
It is just like, it is one of the shittiest, like, oh god. And then every single time anybody finds a fucking dead coyote that's got a bad case of mange, they're like, it's a shitty camera. It's like, no, it's a shitty wild dog.
Aww.
I saw the movie Species in the theaters with an irresponsible adult who brought me at the time because it was rated R. And I think about halfway through the movie, I looked over at him and I said, you know, there's like way too much nudity in this movie. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, there was a weird part where we were making like erotic horror movies, and I'm so glad we got away from that. I mean, it's not impossible to pull off, but nobody alive has the talent, I think.
Okay, I found it. All right, it's called the Dionea House.
Oh,
spell that for me
Yeah.
so I don't screw up.
Dionaea. And it's this like it plays out this if you go to the website, which is just www.dionea-house.com, it plays out as a series of like emails that have been like written back and forth and things like that, of just the like all these creepy things.
Oh, so it's like an epistolary website.
It's 4 stories told in various formats over 2 years, and it was optioned for a movie. And then not made. It was in development hell. I'm reading now.
Yeah. And it is one of my favorite urban legends. It's so like, ooh, the quality of the writing is just like absolutely amazing. And it's like, you know, this like somebody like trying to track somebody down, and then they find this house, and like you know they like go in and look around and nobody's there, and they're like, oh, that's really weird, you know, but then like the house disappears, and then like a year later they find the house, and he's like, I swear it was the same house in the same neighborhood, and like it had the same tree and everything like that, and just like, oh man, it's great. Like, it's a really good story.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into this now. Last thing on the urban legend thing. I don't know if this counts, but Wendigos I think are super cool and underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like northern, like northeastern. Is it Canada too, or is that just like northern?
No, I'm wherever they were. I think they call it. Isn't it Wendigo though, or something like that?
Yeah, I probably like I've said, my mouth is bad.
Isn't it a native? Isn't the Wendigo a native legend or something?
Yeah. It's Algonquin, I believe. I just don't remember how, like, the range of that.
Yeah, Algonquin. The Algonquin did shoot up into like the Ontario, Michigan area, I believe. So like, because I remember touring like Algonquin longhouses when I was a kid.
Yeah. So it's in the Ojibwe language. Fun Austin fact: I had a teacher who was named Miss Ojibwe, and she was like literally just. Like, that was a family name because she was straight up Native American, and that was like her name.
Cool.
But yeah, Wendigos are cool because they're like a monster with a good metaphor, because they're like cannibalism, but not in a. It's like distinct from zombies, which I think are more of a consumerism thing. Anyway, that's probably enough talk on the one thing, but I think it's a cool underrated monster.
All right.
Also, Krampus used to be cool. Now everybody knows about Krampus, and you fucked it up. It's lame now. It's too mainstream.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had like Krampus before it was cool.
I did.
Okay. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
When I say ham, you say bone. Ham.
Bone.
Ham.
Bone.
Bone.
Thanks, Austin.